All right. All right, guys. So this is the second video that I said I'd come out with. So the first video that I did there, that was the first night that I heard about it. And it just connected a lot of dots with me because there's people that have been following what's been going on around the world. So this thing that's happening in Melbourne where they're clearing out tunnels and they're saving kids, this has been happening in other parts of the world. And there's specific people that have been covering it. So I'm going to drop a link to those organizations and YouTube channels and Instagram pages that have been covering it. I've only got, I think, 2 at the moment, so it's not that much, but all this information is coming in as we're going along. So it's been 4 days since I dropped the first video. There's way more information in regards to what people are witnessing themselves and what people are talking about themselves and what they're hearing. They're hearing explosions. And people that have also been following it closely. So with this, you're gonna, for the people that are actually genuinely looking for information and wanting to decipher it, because we're all skeptical with this, but with this, there's going to be a lot of people that come and they're like, oh, you're a fucking conspiracy theorist, cunt. Oh, you're a conspiracy nut. That's what I've been getting. Like, all I'm doing is spreading the word, and I'm getting people doing this. So with these people, just realize this. Look, let me say this. Let me just talk to these people for a second. Listen, a few years ago, it came out on the news that in Mexico, child sex traffickers in Mexico were using tunnels. They were using tunnels to traffic children. That came out on the news. Nobody batted an eye. That was, nobody cared. Oh, wow. Oh, child sex traffickers are using tunnels in Mexico? Well, I guess it's Mexico. I guess that's Mexico. Nobody cared. It was like nothing had even happened. Nobody batted an eye. Nobody said conspiracy theory. But now that it's happening in Melbourne, now that it's spoken about in Melbourne, it's suddenly a conspiracy theory, and everybody who talks about it is a conspiracy nut. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense at all? You know what I think is actually happening? I don't think you're lashing out at anybody who's speaking up. I think you're actually scared. I think you're scared because why, when it came to the Mexico story, you didn't care. It wasn't a conspiracy theory. You weren't scared because it's Mexico. But then when it's happening in Melbourne, you're full of fear. You can't even for a second even consider that that's happening. You have to lash out at people that are actually speaking up. You have to lash out at people and call them conspiracy nut jobs. Dude, child sex traffickers using tunnels to traffic kids is not an out there idea. That happens and has been happening, and it's been happening all over the world. That's not far-fetched at all. That is not conspiracy theory at all. That's very true. And you know what the other thing is crazy? In the 2000s, right? Or even leading up to it, years before it, there were always rumors that priests and clergymen were having sex with children in the Vatican. Nobody believed the people that were saying that. The people that were saying it got shut down every time they got shut down. They got called crazy. They got insulted. And guess what? In 2005, it ended up being true, and it all blew wide open. Priests and clergymen were having orgies, group sex with toddlers. That's what was happening. And all the people that had been shutting it down all those years because they were too fearful to accept it, what did they have to offer when it ended up being true? Absolutely fucking nothing. So you people that come on and say that shit, shut your mouth, stop being a fucking coward, actually wake up, decipher the information. There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. There's nothing wrong with that. But when Mexico had tunnels, and people know about this, and nobody ever said conspiracy theory, and now suddenly you're saying conspiracy theory just because it's in Melbourne, you're exposing yourself. You're full of fear. While the rest of us are trying to speak up, because of your own fear, you're trying to shut us down. And let's look at this for a second. You believe, now that the Vatican story has been blown wide open, you believe that priests were having orgies with children inside the Vatican. You believe that. And that is a way more far-fetched idea and conspiracy than child sex traffickers using tunnels to traffic children. Yet you believe the Vatican story. Even though it's way more out there and far-fetched, you believe it. But you refuse to believe that child sex traffickers are using tunnels to traffic children. And it's interesting because you only refuse to believe it in one certain spot, and that's your own country. So it seems like you're not battling us. You're not battling the people that are speaking up about it. You're actually battling yourself. So stop being a fucking coward. Stop coming on, making these stupid comments and attacking people. Think for yourself. Look at yourself for a second. Smell yourself and say, oh, okay, sorry, I'm actually a bitch. Yep, no, you're right. Yep, I'm actually a bitch. And I actually don't have the balls to actually even consider for a second that this is happening. And you know what's shocking me is that mostly it's men that are coming out and lashing out like this. It's mostly men. And this is the thing. If you're a man and you see that things like this are happening to children or women, automatically you should have, automatically your first instinct should be to look into it, because we have a duty to protect women and children. Naturally, I'm not even saying that, oh, your society's pushed that on us. No, naturally we have that. So you should go and look into it. But these dudes that automatically shut it down with no evidence as well, with no evidence, automatically shutting it down, it just doesn't even make sense. There is more evidence that children are being trafficked in tunnels than evidence opposing it. So it's actually more believable. There is more evidence that children are being trafficked in tunnels than the opposite. Then what evidence are you going to tell me that children aren't being trafficked in tunnels? You don't have shit. You don't have shit. You're just coming on and you're just talking shit. So stop talking shit and decipher the information. There's about like 32 screenshots that I'm going to post. But I just want to say this thing before you guys go through the slide. I want to say this. I'm going to post, and this is for all the deniers. This is for all the people that jump on and go, you fucking conspiracy nut. Oh, fuck you fucking, oh, misinformation over. All you fucking wankers that do that. I'm going to post a video. And before you come, after you watch the video, then you can jump on and hate on me, say whatever you want, swear at me, whatever you want. Before you do that, I want you to watch a video. And I bet you cowards aren't even going to be able to stomach the whole video. I'm going to post a video. Her name is Anneke Lucas. And she was a child sex slave for the elite. So I'm going to post that up. All I want you to watch is just part 1. If you want to go from part 1 all the way to part 4, you can do it. But just at least watch part 1. All right? I want to see if you deniers can even stomach that video. And then tell her it's a conspiracy theory. Tell her that all this stuff, it's not real. No, it's not real. No, this world's perfect. Well, what are you talking about? No, you weren't a sex slave. No, you weren't. This world is perfect. There's nothing wrong in this world. It wouldn't happen in Australia, though. After that, if you want to know about the child sex trafficking ring, the elite child sex trafficking ring in Australia, after that, watch Fiona Barnett. Watch Fiona Barnett. I'll post a video of her as well, but first I want you to watch Anneke Lucas. Just part 1, that's it. and see if you can stomach that. Then tell me that it's all a conspiracy theory. Come and tell me that it's all fake. Please, please.
He wants to know about Australia. Lorinda Lonsdale wants to know about Australia.
Big news, yeah. It surprised me. I didn't think they were going to get to the dumps in Australia, and they're starting to clean up Melbourne. And I'm hearing that it's worse than the worst one that I'd heard before, which was the hog. They cleaned up. It took them 6 months. They started in end of October last year. It took them 6 months. It was so bad. And they're saying that Melbourne's the worst they found now. And they're just putting the tents up and doing the night ops and going in and getting the stuff, cleaning up Melbourne. So that's the first one in Australia. So I'm pretty impressed because Australia is one of the worst places on earth, other than Africa, South Africa, and then of course Antarctica is the worst of the worst.
Are they doing it under the cover of COVID? Because I mean, the New York Times was running an article that there was virus, and so Melbourne was one of the worst areas. They've locked 300,000 people in the area around Melbourne.
Yep. That's how they do it. They say if somebody dies that's famous from COVID, just put tribunal center.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith would be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my my soul.